Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope we are well. Today I am going to do a slightly helpful, well I hope helpful video for any of you guys that are tattooed, are interested in being tattooed and might be going through a little bit of a confusion about the healing process. When it comes to tattoos, people can get pretty elitist, which is kind of frustrating. And I'm just gonna say this right now as a disclaimer. Everyone has their own ways of doing things, and there are ways that work for them. Different tattoo artists say different things to their clients. I've had tattoo artists tell me, different tattoo artists all tell me different things. If you've been tattooed multiple times, you kind of learn what is best for you, what works for you. And I'm very happy with the way that I choose to heal my tattoos. Before any of y'all like to tell me in the comments that I'm doing it all fucking wrong, come over to my house, have a look at my tattoos, and then tell me that I did it wrong, because I think they look fucking brilliant. No, but obviously appreciate any suggestions, but I think there is no kind of right or wrong way, unless you're obviously putting like some shit on you that you should. But generally, yeah. And you know, and if your tattoo artist said that you should do something different to what I'm about to tell you, fair enough, that's cool. But you know, my tattoo artist, and from my experience, has said something else. Let's not start an argument. Right. Let's get that out of the way, because it is frustrating when you talk about tattoos, people tell you that you're wrong. I recently got tattooed this guy over here. I called him Rory. Don't know why, it just felt right when he was being etched into my skin. The name came to me, not that original either, but it's this glorious lion that I got done by Natalie, aka Petals Puppet online, and she has tattooed me numerous times. She did my sleeve, well, the majority of my sleeve, and she's done stuff on my leg before, and I trust her completely with tattooing me. She is so talented, knowledgeable, kind, funny, and just, yeah, a really nice girl. So I don't want to take full credit for this video for the facts I'm going to give you, because a lot of the stuff that I'm going to tell you has just been relayed from her from when she was helping me going through some of my healing process. So I thought I would just talk to you about healing tattoos, what to do after you've got a tattoo done, and also what to do if it goes a bit icky like this one did. I have actually done a tattoo routine video in the past for something that I got done on my leg, so I will put the link to that in the description if you want to watch it, or you can click wherever it may be around here for the link for it. I'm just going to chat you through it anyway. Sorry about the light. Clouds just keep taking over. Bloody hell. Very sorry about the lighting today. The sun just keeps coming in and out. I prefer to shoot in natural light than studio light most of the time when I'm chatting, so forgive me. Let's start from the beginning. Post-tattoo, it will have been wrapped up in some way. Most of the time, I get wrapped up in cling film and taped up with masking tape. I guess what I do is, for the remainder of the day, I walk around, or just live my life in cling film until just before I go to bed, where what I will do is I will take it off, shower, wash off any excess plasma, or the goopy stuff basically that oozes out, which is all inky and rank, and I just gently get it off, and like get it off, because I mean that really hurt when I did it on this arm. If you're a bit squeamish, it might make you feel a bit woo. Make sure someone's around just in case you kind of faint. This hurts so much because there was so much ink when I got it shaded in. There was just so much ink just like oozing out. It's not gonna like change the colour of the tattoo, it's just like pushing it out, and it all goes into the bottom of the bath or the shower, and it just looks gross. But just try not to drench it, just like shower it, just wet it, and like with clean hands, like wipe it down, rinse it, just so that all that excess goop is off. And then what I do is I pat it dry with a nice clean towel, and then I'll wrap it up again with more cling film, go to bed, sleep in it, then in the morning, unwrap it again, clear all the goop off, and then I will leave it unwrapped. Now, I feel like it's safe to do that if you know that you're not going to be in an environment where it could get any dirt in it. So for example, say if you were a builder or a carpenter and you knew that you were going to be exposed to a lot of sawdust or a lot of shit in the air, then I would probably wrap it up again just to protect it. At the end of the day, the goal is to let it breathe so the air gets to it so it can start healing itself. After a couple of days, after a day or two, you'll probably start to notice that the tattoo will kind of harden and start to scab over. Now, when it feels less woundy and sore and open and fresh, and it starts to, I guess, harden up, and that's when I start to use moisturizer on it. So I used to use Sudocrem back in the day, but that's really heavy, not particularly good for the tattoo. It's an antiseptic, but it's not particularly good for the tattoo in the sense that, I don't know, it's just quite heavy and like, just, I can't even explain it. It's just not something that they recommend anymore. My personal favourite, which works for me, is Dream Cream from Lush. Now, Natalie, my tattoo artist, loves cocoa butter. She's like, you need to use cocoa butter. It is the be all end all. But then she's also like, but Dream Cream is also absolutely fine for you because I know you like it. But Dream Cream has cocoa butter in it. So I'm like, well, it does. The ingredients are oat milk, organic extra virgin olive oil, rose water, organic cocoa butter, chamomile, tea tree oil, lavender oil. Basically, the premise of Dream Cream is to moisturize and also to look after upset skin. So I also like to use it as after sun if I've been sunburnt, if my skin is upset and just not in a happy state of mind. I use Dream Cream. So I love this stuff and it lasts absolutely ages. This is a new tub, to be fair, because I have run out of it now, but it did last me a long time. I got the self-preserving one. It doesn't really have any fragrance or scent at all. But it is so good, and I will just I'll just show you. Don't completely, absolutely drench it. You just want to put a thin layer of moisturiser over the whole thing, just to keep it moisturised and just to keep it kind of happy. It helps the healing process. You don't want to oversaturate it. You've got to remember that tattoo also needs to breathe, but it also would benefit from like something caring and good for it. After a while, you'll start to notice that the scabs will start to really dry up and want to come off, and they'll get a bit itchy, and you'll have this urge to itch, but don't itch. If you know that a scab is feeling like it's on its way off, like it's sort of starting to flake a bit, I always have a really hot shower, a really hot bath. From the heat of the steam and the water, use it to somewhat dissolve those looser scabs. It is recommended that when you first get tattooed that you shouldn't submerge it into a bath or like drench it in hot water, or you shouldn't go in a sauna or a steam room or something, because obviously when it's like a fresh wound and it's open, obviously it's quite susceptible for getting infected, and it's probably just generally not that great for it. And my dog is licking off my Dream Cream. When it started to harden and scab over, that's when you can start, like loosening and softening off these scabs. So yeah, what I do is I put either hot water or use the hot steam and just gently massage it in a circle, and the scabs generally, or the flaking generally, dissolve off. If it hurts when you do that, just stop, because if it's hurting, it's probably still connected in some way to the tattoo, and if you pull it off, there's a chance you might pull some of the colour out, make it look a bit iffy. So only do it if it feels like, if you can't really feel it. So like in a section, just go like that, and you'll just you'll feel like a slight tug, I suppose, but if it hurts, then no. And then obviously after you've had a bath or a shower, put that moisturiser on, baby. Yes, so that will be the case for the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks. I would sort of recommend continuing to moisturise anyway, because it brightens them, it makes them look good. I've recently just purchased from Lush, which I'm really excited to try, elbow grease, which is a moisturising bar, and it's says, well, this bar is supreme. It moisturizes like a dream. Why? It's tattoo brightening. Just looks like this in this little bar. Now, I'm going to tell you what happened to me and recently with this tattoo and how I overcome it and what I did about it. And all this advice was given me from Natalie, and some of it I kind of already knew, but she just reaffirmed that that's what I had to do. And it was, yeah, and it worked, and it was great, and it worked for me. I got this tattoo and like coloured in. So I got it lined out in January. I got it shaded in, and then 2 days after I got it shaded in, I went to France skiing, and it was really, really cold. So I flew there on a plane, I was on a coach, and then I had to wear a lot of tight clothing and lots of layers to keep warm, and it was very sore anyway and swollen because of all the shading, and I was on my period, and I know that you're very, very sensitive when you're on your period as well. So getting tattooed, anything pain related on your period makes you way more sensitive and like, But anyway, I just found that it was really hard to move my arm, like past here. And it got really dry and the scabs scabbed up a lot thicker than normal. There developed a few like really crusty bits which are like crusting over like a yellow colour. There were a few bits that were like glistening. I feel like they were like really sore and perhaps cut. It wasn't great, and it really hurt to get dressed. I could barely move my arm, and I was just a bit concerned because I was like, what's going on? And you know, it was probably a mixture of like wearing tight clothing that was rubbing, like different temperatures, moving it a lot, being active, not really resting it. Probably a mixture of all these different factors as to why it kind of looked a bit unhappy. Your arm is moving all the time, and if you're moving it a lot, you're not giving it the chance to kind of settle and do its thing. Like obviously in the ditch here, that was the worst. That was the sorest part. It was all like, oh, just so sore. And even up here, like you're just constantly moving. The skin is stretching because you're moving. It's on a limb that you use all the time. So it was going to be iffy, perhaps. I was feeling a little bit concerned about it because I was in a lot of pain, and I just thought, oh my God, what if my tattoo is ruined? Because I've gone on this like adventure weekend. So I messaged Natalie and I was like, look, sent her the photos, told her what was going on, and she was just like, oh yeah, that looks really dry and really sore. This is what I would do. So at this point, there was a lot of scabbing that was flaking, and it was really hard. So I did take really hot showers and really hot baths twice a day to encourage the really dry patches to come off. So there was a lot around here that was just, yeah, willing to come off. It was, like I said, I could massage it and it was coming off. Like even the really, really chunky bits of scabbing weren't even sore. It was just so dry. And so I could just, you know, every day I'd give it a little massage and like bits would come off. It was eventually like making it a lot smaller and smaller and smaller. And then as for the sore bits, which were kind of glistening, she recommended that I got some of this, and this is Dettol antiseptic wash. It is for skin and wound spray, and when you spray it, it smells like a tattoo parlour. Ah, that really clean smell. She said stick away from Sudocrem, any creams, because they're just too heavy. You want something light which will keep it clean and stop any like potential infection. So we got this, and it was a lifesaver. I was every now, and also gave me the peace of mind that the bits that were a bit dodgy, like in here, and there was a little patch up there, would be fine, and I wouldn't, you know, have to worry about my arm having to be amputated. So I used this Dettol antiseptic wash, and that was really great. The other advice was just to keep it moisturised. Obviously, it was a fine line between keeping it moisturised and also allowing it to breathe. So I would regularly put thin layers of Dream Cream on. I also got, because she said like cocoa butter. So I did find some cocoa butter, and I took a travel size one, which I also took to Chicago with me. So this is just the Palmer's cocoa butter. So it was a combination of hot baths and showers to kind of relieve the scabbing and the dryness and like moisturize any excess skin. It was keeping it clean with this Dettol spray. If you're concerned about your tattoo, the best thing to do, other than listen to my advice, is to contact your tattoo artist and tell them what's happened, send them photos, and just be like, look, I'm really worried about it. Even if you feel like a total idiot, even if you feel like you're totally uncool, that you don't know what you're doing, at the end of the day, it might be your tattoo, but it is still their art. And if they're a good, proud tattoo artist, they will still be very concerned about their work on your body. I'm sure they'll want their work to look as best as it can be because they spent the time doing it, designing it. So they'll want it to look as best as it can. I never feel like an idiot for asking for some advice. I definitely reached out to Natalie. She asked me for some updates on it. So I was regularly telling her like, yeah, it's looking good. It's getting better. Well chuffed. So yeah, the advice that she gave me really worked, and I'm very thankful for it. So yeah, just, you know, if there is, it's Like, this is the first time for me that a tattoo's gone a bit iffy and I've been worried about it. Because normally it's fine for me. I don't have any worries. So this was the first time and I was a little bit scared, hence why I asked. But it worked and it all made sense. Where some of the scabs were really bad and just not nice, like there was a couple of patches where there was some like cuts, like kind of deep cuts on my arm here. And where it's a little bit shiny, like scarring is, I'm just going to use a little bit of bio oil. Bio oil you can buy in Boots, any sort of drugstore, and it's for like scars, burns, cellulite, uneven skin, shiny patches around here. Just whereas this bit was the sorest, that's where all the cuts were. So that's where I'll be using the bio oil, just in these bits. That is that, everyone. Hope you found that. Informative and helpful. Kudos to Natalie for saving my fucking ass and my arm, and also for actually putting this on my arm because it's insane. Give her a follow. She's amazing. Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye.